for anyone who runs courses, say dancing courses, arts and crafts courses, cooking courses, painting courses. We handle all the administration, so they don't need to worry about the booking, the payment processing, the communications with the clients, the financials. We handle all of that so they can focus on engaging with their customers and finding more customers. My family were refugees from Vietnam and they left after the war. During that time, anyone who was educated or anyone who was an intellectual was seen as a threat to the regime, so they were persecuted. For my family, education is something which is a privilege. Flowing from that, everything that I've done since then has always had an educative component to it. And WeTeachMe encapsulates that quite well, because what we want to do is to be able to have a positive and lasting impact on the way knowledge is shared in our communities. Myself and my best friend went to one of the hackathon weekends where we met our third business partner, Marty. And he pitched this idea of being able to find a tutor anywhere you want. And I remember at that time when I saw that pitch, I thought, oh my God, that's so simple, but such a great idea.
It's really hard to spread your idea unless it has like real value for people. So you really need to solve a problem. If you think you're solving a problem, but you don't really, it's not going to work. You really need to offer something that is valuable.
And we did it all part-time at the start. Then what we did was we bootstrapped the entire operation. We lived off our credit cards, we lived off our savings. We did whatever we could to survive. And I think back into that time and I think, oh gosh, that's so stressful. We're literally watching our bank accounts deplete every week. And the amount of stress that puts us, or anyone going through the process under, is incredible.
There are days that I just wake up and I don't want to get out of bed, or I think it's, frustrating, and I'm like, oh, I just can't do this anymore. But quickly I remind myself, how challenging it is, and maybe I would not have an opportunity like that.
One of the things about starting your own company is, I think you never really exactly know what you're doing. And that was pretty scary. When we first launched the WeTeachMe platform, we were under the impression that if we created a solution, then we would just put it out there and thousands of people would flock to it. That didn't happen. Literally, I think it was the sound of crickets on the platform. And so we pushed this first iteration for months, and then we kind of realized that it was too much of a push. And so we had to go back to the drawing board. And that's when we realized that we really needed to go out there and talk to our customers and understand them and find out what keeps them up at night.
Most of the interviews that I had was face-to-face. So I would go there, sit down with them, have a coffee, and ask them different questions, see how they're dealing with the problems. Ask the same question again and again up until we have pretty much the insight of why the business is not doing well, or what are kind of problems they're dealing with, what they're struggling with.
What we discovered was that every single course provider has their own way of handling a headache. It could be using Excel spreadsheets, using Dropbox, manually communicating to their customers via email. The second part was we discovered that each course provider was time poor. So they didn't actually go and talk to other course providers and ask them, hey, how are you solving this problem? So we had talked to, let's say, over 500 course providers, and we realized that 90% of the problems were shared amongst every single person. And we thought, hang on a second, if 90% of the problems are shared, we could create a product or a service that can solve all of that.
So we offer the beginner bread making class, which is the one that focuses on the sourdough bread mainly. Then we started to open artisan bread making, and now we're actually trying to open a gluten-free class, which we developed our own recipe. It actually took a little while, but we did it. Before we started to use WeTeachMe, the problem was on our end, it was everything paper-based. So write the name, or no, transfer, cancel the name, go on the other one. When they ask for when is the available classes, you lose like 10 minutes, try to go back in the calendar, tell them, and then they're gonna ask questions. Since we use WeTeachMe, that's changed. It's easier because we've got all the information online, there is a video as well. The customer can have a look what they are gonna do during the day, and they also have all the available dates online. So for us, it makes it easier so we can concentrate on provide a better quality class and also different classes.
Most of the people now, when they get online, they tend not to read. They avoid reading, they're just looking for images and like bold letters, and they're just skimming through a page. So we tested this with multiple people, and we saw what exactly they're looking through in a page and how to communicate your message the best way possible.
I think the best technology should solve a pain point and should address real headaches, real issues, and real problems that people have. On top of that, I thought, okay, once we identify the problem, let's create a solution that is beautiful, elegant, clean, and a great experience to use. And that's really been the ethos of everything at WeTeachMe. One, let's find the real problems, and two, let's create a solution that's a joy to use. This is different to a ticketing platform because we're not building a once-off transaction. We're building a way for companies to be able to grow a community around their courses. We believe that it's a lot easier to sell to people that you've had previous relationships with rather than attracting new customers. So we thought, great, okay, that's what's going to make us different to a pure ticketing platform. And then about 4 or 5 months into building the prototype, another company overseas launched. Very similar concept to us. And we thought, oh my God, it was panic mode. We thought, what do we do? Do we continue or do we stop and try to think of a new idea? But we had so much buy-in to what we were working on. We believed in it so much, and we really wanted to share this vision with other people that we said, you know what? Because there's been a similar company launched in an international market, we should see that as a sign of validation that the timing is right. So last year we dedicated literally every waking moment to the company. Weekends, public holidays, 11 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, you name it, we were there. And I think that exhausted us a lot because we were doing everything. So this year for us, it's about learning how to grow, how to bring in more people, how to manage people, how to scale up. There have been numerous instances of us needing to learn things, otherwise we would sink. And I believe that this is something which will always occur. And the great thing about this is that it's circular because we talk about education and furthering our knowledge and nurturing our intellect. And the corollary of that is that with business or running a business, you're constantly learning and you're constantly educating yourself. The reason why I've always focused around education is because of my parents. They've always told me, Kim, everything in life is transitory, it's temporary, it's not permanent. You can lose your job tomorrow, you can lose your car, you can lose your family, you can lose your money. But what you can never lose is your knowledge. Your knowledge is something which will grow with you if you let it. It will take you to different places or even more opportunities if you let it, if you nurture it. And so investment into your knowledge is something which is paramount in my family. And this is an idea that I want to share with everyone.